That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you still
So
have
good morning. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a great day to
Now
be
I
here.
think we've got everything connected. So we didn't forget the Facebook fans.
It's awesome. It is awesome. And today is all about. You want to grab the box?
Oh, okay.
Making waves. Anyway.
Make sure you hold it long enough. So
hold it long enough. You know, you can't hold the wave back.
You can't hold a wave back?
You just can't see it in real time, and that's okay.
See?
It's all good. It's all good.
There's a little glare on the wave, just like sunshine.
That's right. It's good.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to make waves? What do you think about when you think about making waves? And for me, one of my favorite things to do is actually go to the beach. I love to be there when the sun rises, when the sun sets. I love to just kind of hang out there. And it doesn't have to be like this long, drawn out, all day affair. But to be there for a while, you know, an hour, maybe two, and just kind of hang out and let that energy that's in the atmosphere from the being at the beach, listening to the waves crash against the shoreline or feeling the water in my toes and sand in my feet. It's just, it brings this part of happiness, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you like it as much as I do, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who can't? All right, there's some people that might not like the beach because they have dust allergies or something.
Well, that's a new one. I haven't heard that.
Well,
dust allergies.
Wind. Sometimes the wind is a little too strong, right? And sometimes that affects my face. Is because my deviated septum doesn't like the wind blowing up the nose. Dries it out. And
I do have a friend who is allergic to the sun, however.
Oh, there you go. See?
So there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I'm sitting out there, it's just so much fun to watch the water and what it does. It'll kind of wash across the sand and it'll reveal the shells that are underneath. And then it's like it pulls it all back out. It's kind of this back and forth motion. It's like wiping things clean. It's a whole new slate, but it's constantly making a difference.
Yeah. Well, so let's look back a little bit further. Let's go back in time. Before the wave, before the ocean, there may have been a drop, right? We were told that, a drop of rain came and then the rains came, so think about thunderstorms. It starts with one little drip and you say, oh, we're in for it. And maybe you see it down the road, right? You see that downpour here in Florida. You can really see some remarkable rain lines as you're going down the road and say, oh, it's raining over there.
But that first plop.
Yeah, the first plop. Yeah, go. Yeah. Oh.
Sometimes it's this teeny little one.
Yeah.
And you just kind of wait a second. Is that what I think it is? And other times it's just like this giant plop of water that just like splat. You're like, whoa. Yeah. And yet it made a difference. It really made a difference. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, Luke. How you doing?
So that water droplet making a difference in our behavior and in our thoughts, as Joe looks at the weather forecast. I am not even kidding you guys. Joe will look at the weather forecast.
Yeah, the water forecast.
And he'll say, oh no, we can't go to the beach because it's going to rain. And I look at the forecast and I'm going, what are you talking about? It's like predicted for like 0.08 of an inch, maybe.
Yeah, but by the time we get, we got transit time. And by the time we get there, it's right in the midst of that rain window. So who wants to go there? Because what's going to happen. It's going to get cloudy and it's just going to be windy and not pleasant.
So it's interesting. He takes that perspective and it has an influence on his behavior. But I look at it from the other side. It's kind of like glass half empty, glass half full kind of thing.
I'd rather be there and face the rain. Yeah.
Well, it might not happen. That's what happens in Florida. It's like, okay, maybe it'll be there, but it's not going to last long. And even if it is there, I can do
Yeah,
something else. And, I can still go see the water and it's still
yeah,
fun
yeah,
to see it crashing. I don't care if it's like, it doesn't have to be the gloriously sunny, blistering hot day. It can just be overcast and you still feel the waves crash and watch the difference that they make. So it's interesting though. The weather has a great effect on us, but I think we also have an effect on other people.
we have an effect on us.
Yes, and
So
ourselves.
yesterday we are talking about image, right?
Yeah.
And what we're worried about from the outside, what we think about, and how that's impacting others. Well, it's just like that raindrop. That one drop, maybe you just go through life and say, "Oh, hi." You say it to somebody as you're encountering them, "Hi," and then you move on. And that impact is like that first raindrop. It disappears in a matter of second, a minute, maybe a minute, maybe a second. It all depends how big it is, right? It's a little drip,
Well,
right? But then it may be as you encountered somebody, it's like, "Oh, hi, I haven't seen you in a while." Or what are you working on?
it builds
Or
and builds.
recognize, right? You
Hmm.
start building it up. It becomes a greater rainfall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So what's the wave really? What's wave mindset, Lisa?
Wave mindset. I think if you look out at the ocean waters, okay, you've had a lot of those droplets of water obviously accumulating over
Yes,
time, whatever.
every
But
day. Yeah.
if you look out at the ocean, in the depths of the ocean, you don't necessarily see that many waves, right? It's just kind of this subtle thing. Or maybe easier to imagine a pool because more of us have experienced pools. You think about a pool. I love to sit at the pool's edge. In fact, not too long ago, I was just sitting there at the edge of the pool and I was just kind of sitting there hanging out, listening to podcasts. And then I thought, man, the water is just like glass. But I moved my foot just a little bit. And that small amount of motion made a ripple that went all the way. I don't know how long is the pool? 30 feet maybe?
Um,
Anyway,
whatever.
but you could see that ripple go all the way across just from that tiny little movement. And it was just kind of fun to watch it. But I think as we're looking at life, and I'd be really curious to know once when all of this stay at home stuff started, how many of us changed the things that we do? And now it's like they're a habit, right? That little difference of, oh, I'm not going out.
Yeah,
Or,
so a negative or a positive change, right? Is what you're
mm-hmm,
saying. And is it consistent? So are we, what I'm hearing from you is you can put your foot in the water once, create the ripple, but it goes away. If
mm-hmm,
you keep your foot in there and move back and forth, like some people like to do, is just dangle their feet and keep moving them a little bit in the water, right? It creates the ripple that has a consistent effort or
and we
consistent
begin to make
impact.
those
Yeah,
waves.
the energy changes, right?
So I've seen both ends of the spectrum. I've seen people get lazy and it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna sleep in, and we just kind of have these lethargic, calm days now. And then I've seen other people that are just digging right in, and they're like, man, I wrote a book. I did this with my business. I joined partners with this person. And they're just like making those big, loud, crashing waves. So a wave is really a transformational difference, right? It can be
Yeah,
subtle and happen over time. We were talking yesterday about the Colorado River, for
yeah,
example. Over
yeah.
time, it's carved its way and made a great path, beautiful scenery.
And it reminds me of a message I saw yesterday. Is a path is built over time.
Mm-hmm.
You build the path. So I'm thinking back to Michigan State. There was a point in uh, the pathway that we traveled between one set of buildings and another,
Mm-hmm.
and it was concrete path, but over time the students built a different path because it took too much to go down and then over. So they made a
Shortcut.
shortcut
We
across.
see it a lot.
Well, a shortcut, yeah. And then what happens? The grass turns into brown, starts getting trampled down, and pretty soon there's just dirt there because the grass has disappeared, and now you see a visible path. And it's like that in a lot of things that we end up doing. So what's the mindset? The mindset is about intentionality, being consistent, being with an idea as to where you're going from here to there, and making that path. So like the wave, it's making a path
Yeah.
from deep to shallow.
And it's a pretty amazing thing. The things that we can do when we are intentional, when we are consistent, when we are determined.
Yeah.
And really, I think underneath all of that is a motivational factor. There's a why factor. What is it that you really want? That you really, really want? That thing that you don't want to go without, that you're going after. Maybe it's because you're ready to, it doesn't matter what age you are. You could be our age, you could be 20, and you could be already thinking about retirement. I'm on this path because I know that I want to retire early, or I want to retire and I want to have this much money in my bank account. It might be just simply because you want to make a better life for your children, or you have a certain goal. I have a passion to help other people. So that keeps me going. And I know that if I do this activity, it's going to help me achieve that goal. It's going to help me add value to others, but it also brings that joy into my life. So when you start thinking about that underlying factor, that brings that current, that wave that just kind of builds.
Yeah, in talking with clients I've had over the years, uh, and the teams that I've led, what happens? Well, me as a enabler, uh,
You're an enabler?
well, help people get empowered, help people get engaged,
Okay.
figure out their next steps. So I help them transform themselves to be more influential. So having a greater influence. And what happens? Well, we don't know where to start. So we start small with a drop. And then we move to something a little more and getting engaged with the people in their team, finding out who they are, why they're there, what they're hoping, helping them understand the path ahead. And, by being able to sit at the table where the big
Yeah.
girls are.
And I think
Yeah.
you're bringing up a
Yeah.
good point. We don't always know where we're going. We might know kind of what we want. So as we're thinking about it, it's kind of like one of those, I know what I want, but I don't know exactly how to get there. You have to take one step. You have to go forward in just making one motion. And when we take that one motion, clarity begins to, get even more clear, right?
Yeah.
And we take another action and we begin to see another piece of the puzzle. And all of a sudden we start to make those ripples and they become the waves that we're talking about. So what is it that you can do in your life today, in your business today, that can make a difference? What can you do that makes a ripple?
Well, towards a wave, or towards what's the bigger impact that you want to create, and what are you doing today to get the drop, become the puddle, become the ripple, the stream, whatever whatever analogy you want to go with, whatever impact you want to make today. Maybe it's small, and that's okay.
So what's one of your suggestions? What can somebody do?
Well,
I love putting him on the spot.
Yeah. So, well, what's one thing that's standing in your way? So, if you think about the wave coming up against the breaker wall, its momentum is stopped. So, just like in our life, there are breaker walls preventing us from reaching the shore, from reaching those that we need to reach. So, what's the one thing that we can change? Maybe it's a mindset issue. Maybe, in that regard of, I'm not playing full out. And by playing full out today, you're starting to create that wave.
So playing full out. So when I think about playing full out, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about reaching out to people. And that reach out can be as subtle as simply saying, "Hi, how are you doing?" and mean it genuinely, right? So we're reaching out, we're having conversations with people. And to say, "Hey, I really care about you." Because people don't care about how much you know. They want to know how much you care. They want to know that you are invested in their life. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And it can be in family, it can be in business. All of this stuff can cross those lines, right? Family and business. So maybe somebody in your family didn't make their bed yet today.
Uh-oh.
Ah,
Bed alert.
You can do something as simple as go make their bed without telling them, without saying a word, and just let them be surprised when they see it. And then all of a sudden it's like this mystery. And I think people have fun solving that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, somebody did something really nice for me. Maybe they didn't get their chores done yet. I sometimes will surprise Joe and I'll do the dishes for him.
Wow.
It's nice though, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes.
You know?
No, it's beautiful. I love you.
But when
So let's bring this to a close.
taking action.
Otherwise the wave becomes just, a trickle again.
Oh my goodness. So we're taking simple actions. We're connecting with people. We may be doing something for people. But if you want to make an even bigger wave, you have to do those things. Plus, you need to let people know what you want, what you need. You need to let them know how you can help so that they can be affected more by that wave. So
be the wave starter.
Be the wave starter.
Don't look for the thing that you want up front.
Right. Yes.
Be the wave starter to create towards the thing that will help others.
And it's really all about positivity and love.
Yeah.
It's one of those things
That's
that
the
we're
biggest
called
wave.
to.
Love.
Positivity and love. So go love on other people and yourself. Okay? You have to love on yourself in order to give that to other people. So look in that mirror. Remember who you are, whose you are. Make a difference. Have an experience making waves.
Making waves. Making waves.
I tell you, this guy is more excited about
I'm
this
ready
box.
to open it up. Only 2 more days.
I think he thinks about the box more than I do. So I'm excited, though, to find out what's inside it, too.
All right. Take care, all. We'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.